Hi, everybody. It's Melissa Lee. I wanted to check in with everyone, see how everyone's doing. I wanted to make another video and talk about a couple of things, actually, some things that I've learned recently. As a girl who's recently come back out after 20 years of repression, um, because as I mentioned in earlier videos, my wife, even though she knew when we first got married, something made me put it aside, convincing myself that I no longer needed it. And we spent the next 20 years together where I suppressed my feminine side completely. And now that I'm single again, and I suddenly realized that I could try dressing again. And when I did, the genie came out of the bottle, and I am blown away by the results. I'm extremely happy with how I look, how I feel. I feel amazing, which is going to bring me to my topic. It's going to be called pink fog. Now, some of you may already be familiar with this term. I recently had a girlfriend of mine explain it to me. Uh, these last couple of weeks have been wonderful, and my enthusiasm has been all over the board, excited, wanting to dress more, explore. Milyssa, I'm comfortable with going out. I'm comfortable with being around other people, socializing. I want to have a good time. I've always enjoyed that. Even when I dressed 20 years ago, I was a member of a local trias support group, and I would meet with them once a month and sometimes go into the city, go to the clubs. I was very comfortable. I know I don't fully pass. I accept that part of myself, but it doesn't matter to me because of how good I feel. And then I started playing around with social media, which we really didn't have so much back then, putting myself out there. Now, I created this YouTube channel for a reason because I wanted to talk with people about my journey. There might be other ladies out there who are like me or trying for the first time, learning as we go and having questions. I've also been watching a lot of um, other girls, transgendered women, even cross-dressers, who have a lot of good advice and have been doing it for many, many years. And I've been cautioned by my friend about putting myself out there too much on social media because it could come back to bite you. And I had this, um, I don't know what you would call it. I had this attitude where it didn't matter to me. I didn't feel like I needed to hide it. I wasn't going to go out of my way because I do have friends and family who would not be supportive. I have some that probably would be supportive. But as one lady, Sydney, I forget her last name off the top of my head. She's big on YouTube. I'll try to put a link to her channel down below because she has a lot of wisdom talking about, dressing, being transgendered, and she made a very good point. Once you let that genie out of the bottle, you can never put it back in. And people might come out and be very supportive of you and think it's wonderful. And yet they're always going to have that in the back of their mind, even when you're not dressing. And they're going to look at you differently. So you have to take it carefully. I'm not saying not to. Uh, People want to go out and be totally out there, then they should do what they feel is comfortable for them. I need to slow down a little bit. I have a bad habit of when I like something, I jump in head first and I go full bore. I got to be careful with that because I have only been dressing again for a few weeks. I want to take things relatively slow and build up to a point where I really fully understand how I feel. My feelings are a little all over the place. I feel some freedom being alone again and being able to express myself how I want. I also still want to find some other groups. I do know that there is another group near me that I've reached out to that I might be joining because I love hanging out with other ladies. I love socializing. I love going out to dinner and in public and all that. And that's great. It's finding those safe spaces to go and then finding out how you really feel about yourself before other people find out. And with the internet, you never know what's going to happen when you put a picture out on the internet. It could wind up in the strangest places, and people you know might see it. Now, do I think if any of my family or friends saw me, they would instantly recognize me? No, but they might. And if they do, that could cause a big blow up. Now, I was outed 20 years ago when my older brother came across pictures of me and he called me up and we kind of had it out. He was upset and he was really reading me the riot act. And we didn't talk for a little while after that. Now we mended fences. And I think when he saw that when I got together with my wife and I put it away, that we never really talked about it again. Well, now 20 years later, I can approach my brother because he already knew the first time. And I've learned more about my brother to understand he may be much more open to this now than he was back then. So that's something I'm seriously considering. I have my best friend who lives in the UK. I'm going to go visit this summer. I believe I told her once that I used to dress many, many years ago, and then we never discussed it again. She was fine. And I haven't yet gotten the courage to confess to her yet that I am dressing again. And I think she would be totally open to it. But yet it's still that once the genie's out of the bottle, you can't put it back in. So you have to be emotionally ready to express yourself and be prepared for fallout. Like I said, if my mother found out, she would lose her shit. She would not be able to handle it at all. Um, Other family members of mine, they live so far away, I doubt they would ever know. My wife's family, um, that's a different story. I know I have a niece who's very, very open and involved in the transgender community. She would be totally accepting with it. Her mother, I'm really close with. That one's iffy. I don't know. Um, I'm going to have to take some time and explore that to see if I can confide in her in that. I can even ask her daughter, my niece, who would know more than me, how she would accept it. Her parents, absolutely not. Old school, oh my God, they would be devastated. So you have to pick your battles. You have to decide. And again, I'm not transgendered. Okay. I'm not looking to fully transition, take hormones or have surgery or live full time. Uh, it's tempting at times because I love how I look and I love how I feel when I am Milyssa. But I have to take it a step at a time. It's still too new, and I need to know where I'm going to go from here. I have my whole life ahead of me. I wish I would have continued from 20 years ago. I wish I never would have put it away, but I did. So now that it's coming back out, there's so much that I have to relearn about myself, about the lifestyle, and now the world is a different place. There's a lot of backlash right now towards the LGBTQ community, especially the trans community, um, from the right-wing politicians. Now, I'm going to tell you right up front. Okay, I'm in the middle. I lean left on a lot of social issues. Obviously, I support the LGBTQ community, cross-dressing, people living their lives if they're not hurting anybody else, can doing whatever they want. Okay. I lean towards the right a little bit more fiscally, but I do not agree at all with the religious right trying to push values on other people. So, and things have gotten so contentious with everyone lately. Everyone is fighting everyone else. Everyone hates everyone else to the point where there's violence. And now there was this recent school shooting where a transgendered female to male student or former student targeted this school and shot up and killed a few kids and an administrator. It's horrible times we live in. And I'm not anti-gun. I own guns. I mean, I fully support Second Amendment, but there's something wrong in our society where these kids are doing this, or people are doing it. The violence in general. I'm sickened by the number of videos that pop up online showing people just getting the hell beat out of them for no reason, or killed, or pushed on railroad tracks, or whatever. What is going on with our society? We do need to be more loving. We do need to understand and come to terms with each other. I'm a very spiritual person, and my videos will always talk about the spiritual aspect of our lives, who we are spiritually. My beliefs may not align with other people because it's not religious. Um, you can maybe label it a little new agey, but it's not. I follow and studied a lot of different aspects of spirituality, and I'm still learning as I go. I do believe a lot of what I am experiencing right now for me, a lot of it is based on some past lives that I've had as a woman, that I've done past life regression, and I know who I was in some past lives as women. I've even looked myself up and found myself, which maybe that's something we'll talk about another day. You can believe it, don't believe it, that's fine. The point of it is civility needs to come back. We need to respect and love each other. We need to accept people for who they are. I do believe sometimes things go way too far out there, especially where children are concerned. I think that they're handling things in the schools all wrong. I'm not against mentioning different sexualities or gender or anything, but I think it needs to be with older kids and when they can understand more, not these younger elementary school kids. It's too young. And speaking for myself, I've known that there's a part of me that thought I should have been born a girl since I was 6 years old. And yet I was always riding that fence of masculine and feminine. It's not like I played with dolls or dressed up or anything. I still lived most of my life, my young life as a boy. It wasn't until high school that it really started to eat at me a bit, really started to come forward. I started experimenting with dressing, mainly with my mother's clothes when I was at home alone, like I'm sure so many of you have done. And so I experimented for a year or so, but never really did anything with it. And then I put it aside again for another 10 years because I was never in a position to freely express myself. 20 years ago, I moved out of California to New Jersey, and the woman I was seeing at the time was open to it. And that's when I first was able to fully come out, explore Milyssa, and learned how to dress, do my makeup, and then go out, and I had a great time. But then I met my wife, and Again, she was very supportive in the beginning, went out with me in public in the beginning. But then I just started getting the nagging feeling that I could tell she wasn't as thrilled with it and wanted more of her husband. And so I convinced myself I didn't need it and I put it away, and I put it away for 20 years. And now I'm back, and I don't have any of that weight on my shoulders anymore. I feel wonderful, marvelous. And those of us who dress know how good we feel when we do dress, and we're expressing this true inner part of ourselves. Um, I don't know where I'm going to take this. I don't know how far I'll take this. I do know that in the last 2 weeks, I've dressed almost every single day. I dressed all weekend long. I was on some social media sites and just having a great time socializing with people. That's why I'm looking forward, if I do join this one group, of socializing with other women in person and going out to dinner and doing all sorts of things. So, but again, baby steps. Step out of the pink fog, and you feel elation, you feel excited, uh, but tempered a little bit more. And that's my advice to anybody in this situation. Now, there are people who've been doing this way longer than me, who are much more experienced and could probably give a lot better advice. And then there's some people out there who are still hiding in the closet and they can't go in public. And I don't know how long people have been doing it. Some may just be starting or be curious. Some may be doing it for years. Everyone has a different story. Everyone feels differently when they dress. As I've mentioned before, for me, it's not a sexual experience whatsoever. I don't get sexually excited. I just feel like a sigh of relief that Milyssa is out, and this feminine part of me can be expressed and explored. So I'm sharing all this with you. I'm sharing my journey, maybe different from your journey in many different ways. I hope that if anybody has any questions, I have been reached out to by a couple of people with some great questions, and we've established some good dialogue. And I'm more than happy to talk to people. So kind of becoming a little bit of a counselor here, but it's fine because I think we need to talk about it. We need an outlet. And so I tell people you can email me at Milyssa Lee, MILYSSA LEIGH @ yahoo.com. That's how you can contact me. I'll put my email address down below. I don't mind getting email, and any questions you may have, you can feel free. Um, I don't really want emails from admirers at this point. I'd really more want to deal with other women like myself who have serious questions. So let's see where that goes. But you're more than welcome to talk to me. And I will do more of these videos as we go, with different topics each time. And I will share my own journey. And if things happen to me along the way, I'll definitely share that with everyone. I encourage anybody who's seen my channel, please like it, subscribe. I'm putting out content all the time now because I'm dressing all the time now. And I'll try to shake this up a little bit, make it a little bit more fun. There's a few people I follow out there. Heidi Fox is one of them. Oh my God, that woman is so beautiful. And she is a blast to watch in her videos. Um, Definitely check out her channel. I'll try to put a link to her channel down below as well. So again, I want to thank you for tuning in for another edition here, and I will have more content coming soon. I look forward to talking to you all soon. You have a wonderful evening.